What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You already know what time it is. This is your boy, the historian, in the building. We're getting ready to go ahead and get this thing started. We're going to try a little something new. We talked about bringing in a little bit of traffic jam music for you guys, but I wouldn't call it music. More so, just a little something talking about the Falcons. So sit back, relax, enjoy. We got you covered. BirdCage. Hey man, I'm not gonna do this by myself today, so I got a little help today. We got our guy, the Black Wall Street Journal, better known as Scoop, in the place to be. What's going on, Big Scoop?
What's going on? What's
Hey
happening?
man, hey man, can't call it. Disappointing way that we lost the ball game yesterday. Watched a little bit of Raheem Morris's press conference. Was a little. I'm not gonna lie to you, a little tired of the broken record type of explanations. Really want to get some more results. But how you feeling today?
Well, I mean, it was a true belt to butt whooping yesterday. But you know what? I take it on the chin, man. McDonald is from Atlanta. Well, he lived here in Atlanta, so
Yeah.
went to Centennial High School. So I take it on the chin. It's cool. But we got some things that we need to fix.
Man, you'll never hear me say that you're wrong on that right there, brother. So I'm gonna start off by saying this, man. When you talk about everything that's been going on with the Falcons and just the things that we need to address and we need to fix at this point, it's just bad. It's just bad. It's no way to camouflage it. We need a pass rush at this time. We need a little bit more production from the running game in this time. And I'm not speaking on just Bijan. I'm speaking on Tyler Algier. We speak about this every week in the bird cage, but bumper to bumper, man, this isn't formatted. This is just a pop-up show. We just doing a little something just to talk about how we feeling about this. And we in traffic right now, both of us. So how do you
Right.
feel with the explanation that Raheem gave, and you look at Tyler Algier, who's averaging about 4.9 yards a carry. He's averaging that every time he touches the ball, but we don't feed him enough, especially when he's starting to eat. How do you feel about that?
So I do feel some type of way about yesterday's game plan because I don't know if you noticed, but Jason McCullum came in, for Cleveland came in at the end of the game with Michael Penix, and he got
Yeah.
5 carries. And Tonka Truck, Tank, Tyler Algier, he got 5 carries the entire game, and it
Mm.
shouldn't go down like that. It should never
I
go
agree.
down like that. Disparity, and I know, some offensive coordinators like to run with the hot hand, but we have a unique situation here in Atlanta that I mean, you got to feed them both, man. You got to figure that out.
I mean, when you look at, like you said, you have two great backs. Not good, great backs have the potential to be great. When you look at Algier, Algier's your hammer. That's the guy that you want to wear everybody down with. And people don't want to realize that Algier has a linebacker's mentality. And most, if you don't know about him, the man played linebacker, middle linebacker in college. So he looks for contact. That's why he is so driven to be able to get those extra yards. When you look at Bijan showed that he can run somebody over, but his strong suit is being in the phone booth. You give him 18 inches, he's gonna make you miss. And when you talk about being able to use his speed and his freshness, I would say go ahead and just beat up on. Beat him down with Tyler, and then let Bijan handle the rest when everybody's tired.
Yeah, like it should be a good mix, man. It's Sonic Hedgehog and Knuckles. The change of
Perfect
pace when
analogy.
you put both of them. We've never seen any sets that I can remember when we put both of them back there in the backfield. And
Man,
you got to pick your poison, man, when you're dealing with us. I think that yesterday's game was a great game plan by Seattle because Seattle had 10 days to prepare for us. And
mm,
I think that our guys are still riding on the high with the 3 division wins, which is all good. But and I know we can't win them all, but I don't want to lose like that. I don't want to lose where we get absolutely dominated, and so to speak, from all aspects of the game because Cool missed a field goal. He doing that point shaving stuff again, and then Kirko he gets sacked. It's a strip and a fumble and return for a touchdown, and he throw a
Mm-hmm.
couple picks. Draco he missed a easy pitch and catch. You know what I'm saying? Like you 6'5" and you can jump. If you throw the ball high, we banking on you to get that ball. Plus you wide open. So situations like that, man, it just you just got to chalk it up and look forward for the next week.
Now I can't. Now the one thing I'm gonna speak on a little bit before we move on to this, I gotta address my defensive backfield. You know, Jimmy Lake has got to put guys in better position. He's got to understand his personnel a little bit better. You understand what I'm saying? And when you look at it, when I say he's got to understand his personnel a little bit better, you have to understand that AJ Terrell is not good with big body receivers. He's elite, yes, when it comes to his fundamentals. But yesterday, you've never seen, and I'll be honest with you. When's the last time you seen somebody get grabbed by one hand and get blocked like that? He literally just little boy at AJ yesterday when Kenneth Walker ran that touchdown over there. That was just embarrassing. It was no fight. It was kind of like, you know how you say you got the old man that grab you and you know how strong he is? He grabbed him, talking about some, no, son, you're just gonna stay right here. Stay right here. Don't move. I got you. I got you. And he holding him just like this here. AJ didn't even put up a fight. That was embarrassing. But I can't really say too many bad things about DK because DK is a freak of nature. Period. But that was just bad. I'll say this. I think Jimmy Lake needs to be in a position where he starts to lean on. He's got to start leaning on Jerry Gray. You have this wealth of knowledge that's there. My guy Scoop fell out real quick. He'll be right back in. But you got a wealth of knowledge in Jerry Gray. And it's just one of those things where you sit back and you just look around like, hey, man, get off your ass, let your ego walk out the door and start listening. We know DK is going to get his regardless. We already know DK gonna get his regardless, but you have to be a little bit more physical with DK, and you got to give him some help over the top because, I mean, he literally destroyed everything we did, and we didn't help ourselves out by giving up the momentum before halftime.
So it wasn't a Julio Jones. It wasn't a number 11 performance by DK. Like he made
Mm-mm.
some big plays, but those plays could have easily been stopped. Like the Jackson and Jigba
Yeah,
wide receiver pass. Come on, bro. Like he just threw a duck up there, and we just didn't play the ball. And I don't know what it is about AJ, but this probably the reason why he is at a DB spot and not at a wide receiver spot. He don't know how to play the ball. And just like I know as a DB,
yeah.
some people got it, some people don't. It's as simple as that. Like you can cover, but everybody ain't no ball hawk, and AJ ain't no ball
AJ,
hawk.
nah, and at that cornerback spot, you got to be a bit of a thief. You have to be a thief,
Facts.
whether you're a safety. My thing wasn't, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a ball hawk, but I was a thief. I was one of the ones that if you give me an opportunity, I make you pay for it. But if you didn't, I was gonna try to at least knock it out your hand. I was gonna steal a possession from you. You know what I'm saying? You have to be in the mindset of I gotta attack you. I can't allow that. But I think what's hurting us is the fact that we're playing, and Dewey McClain said it the best. When you play prevent defense, you're going to prevent yourself from winning. You got to start playing these corners up on these receivers. You can't just give these
Facts.
receivers a 5 yard release. You're giving them half of a first down every time you line up on them. That's a problem.
So so the touchdown before the half was inexcusable. They were in cover two. So
Mm-hmm.
AJ was supposed to sink. Now a part of him sinking, if nobody threatens your flats, then you just keep traveling with the receiver. Now here's the
Mm-hmm.
thing: I didn't see AJ communicate, but at the same time, Justin Simmons just he was supposed to stay on the hash because honestly, bro, if I'm on the
Yeah.
hash as a safety and cover two, I'm looking for the post. And if
Yeah.
anything, I'm making it harder for you to throw the post corner, which Justin was playing, and I think he was playing it because they only had 10 seconds on the clock. But come on, bro, you don't never give up anything in the middle of the field, or at least not communicate to the other safety. Like, I'm gonna play the outside, you cover the inside. He didn't do none of that. It was just poor communication on that, and they took it for granted, and that's how we got bombed on. Because I know people want to point the finger at AJ, but AJ was in cover two. He did his job.
Now
It's
here's
just
the
everybody
thing.
else, man.
Now there was a play where, like you were saying, where DK ended up catching the ball away. Now AJ was trying to play the man opposed to trying to play that ball, and he just
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
whiffed. That's got to get better. You know what I'm saying? As a franchise defensive back, you've got to be a look. You've got to. My thing is at this point, I think Jimmy Lake need to get a foot put in his behind, if you ask me, because his arrogance is gonna cost us. Because pressures aren't gonna get it done. Arnold Ebiketie ain't it. Lorenzo Carter not it. You need to go ahead at this point. You might as well let Durlis get in. You might as well let Ruka Roro get in. You might as well allow D'Angelo Malone to get a few snaps to see what is going to happen. Zach Harrison a little bit more because y'all want to stick with these guys. I'm sorry to say it, but hey, Arnold Ebiketie is trash, straight trash. He struggles with playing the run. He struggles with getting to the passer. He's had a few flashes, but here's the thing: I look at him like a Roman. I look at him like a sparkler, not a Roman candle. You light that sparkler, and it's a slow burn, and it fizzles out. That's pretty much what Arnold Ebiketie is to me. It's no type of permanent flash, you know. And the sad part about it is now we need to go get a pass rusher at this point. You know, you got to rotate your talent. You
Yeah.
got to see what they have, but we got to get a pass rusher at this point, bro. We definitely got to bring one in. And
Now,
I'm gonna give you this.
contrary to popular belief, bro. Go ahead.
What's up?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no. I was agreeing with you on this. At this point, you got to either get Miles Garrett and see what Cleveland's talking about, or you got to go ahead and grab Max Crosby. We got a franchise quarterback at this point. What are you going to use that pick for? Because we're not going to be picking that high if we get to the playoffs. I feel like this, man. No, Mike, I don't even want him as a backup. He got to go. He couldn't push a biscuit off a he couldn't push a biscuit off a plate with a hot fork. And that's just the honest to God truth. So at this point, it's time to start exploring options. We're in win now mode. Terry Fontenot does not have a contract going into next year. So at this point, you got to put all your chips in, got to put all your chips on the table, and you got to go ahead and make this happen. That's how it's got to happen. You got to put it all in, just like you in Vegas. You all in. You have no years left. If you want to come back, win this division, you're in a prove it situation now if they're going to give you an extension or not. I want Terry to come back, but he doesn't have a current contract on the books. So at this point, Terry's got to use all his resources and try to win us a game or get us to the point to where we can win. His job is on the line, ladies and gentlemen. He had a lot of great moves in the offseason, but let's be real. His job is on the line right now. If you're going to look at a pass rush and drafting some kids next year, I'm going to tell you right now. I know it's a stigma against drafting kids at University of Georgia. I'm sorry. It's what it is. That boy Jalen Walker or Michael Williams, you got to bring one of those kids here because you need another pass rusher. You got to build up the depth because Judon right now is getting held like it's nobody's business. They holding on to Judon like a single mama's holding on to a damn child support check at this point when she got a baby daddy and they ain't gonna give it up. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you on that. They holding on to him like it's no tomorrow. He wears the red sleeves to pretty much, as we would say, to show that he's being held. It's just what it is. All I can say is at this point, you got to make some stuff happen. It's just what it is. You got to make some stuff happen at this point. And until that happens, this defense is going to continue to struggle. And the last thing we need is this defense continuing to struggle and being in a bad spot. So you got to start looking in other directions at this point. You definitely got to start looking at other defensive players at this point. So that's pretty much all I got. All I'm saying is this was just a little 15-minute traffic jam, man. You know how we keep it rolling or whatnot. I want to thank y'all for coming in. We'll probably do some pop-up shows here and there like this here in the traffic jam. But again, Raheem's press conference was the same old song and dance as Dan Quinn did when he was here. It's getting to the point where, hey, you got to start having accountability. You got to start putting yourself in a situation to where you make things happen. So at this point, I'm gonna transition to the dogs or whatnot real quick before we get up out of here. And we were talking about this pass rush. Here's my thing: when you have a chance to get one of these kids that are elite pass rushers in the country, they're talking about bringing all these other cats in. I say Jalen Walker would fit what we do. That's just my opinion. Either him or Michael Williams. How do you feel about that, Scoop? After seeing the games that we've seen from these young men, and we're looking at all kinds of pass rushes all over the place. What do you think it would take for us to bring something like that here? Even though you saw the performance that some of these guys had against some of the best offensive linemen in the country that's supposed to be first round that's coming out of Texas.
So I'm gonna be real with you. If they fall to us, that's cool. But
Yeah,
you know, just like I know, man, as Bulldog fans,
we can only hope.
it gotta work in concert. Yeah, it
Yeah,
got to work in concert though. Defensive line because nobody is as dominant as the line. Like when the line is winning their one on ones, then that gives you an opportunity. But when you're not winning your one on ones, it doesn't give you an opportunity. And I think scheme wise, that's part of what makes Georgia more successful. Now
yeah.
Miami now they got down against Tennessee this weekend, but they were pretty non-existent for majority of the year so far this year because we didn't
Yeah,
get
with
that same
Texas,
pass rush when we played against Milrow.
nope.
I mean, yeah,
Because
Texas,
the
my
thing
bad.
was, well, Michael Williams was hurt. Jalen was on the snap
Right,
count or whatnot because he was still dealing with an injury, and Kirby was really a little
right.
bit conservative. In that game against Texas, he said, "The hell with it, we just coming with it. Y'all gonna have to beat us one way or another." And I bet
That
our best pass rushers beat their best offensive linemen.
right. And see that plus Shmuel Monday was hurt, so Jalen Walker had to play different multiple positions. So I think that putting Jalen in that position where he can be around the field, like he just a he a dog, man. Like Jalen, you got to move him around, and that showed Saturday that you got to move him around.
Yeah. And all I'm saying is this, because this man, we came on here, we just talking real right now. We ain't complaining. We ain't gonna do all that belly aching like
Right,
everybody doing, because we've seen all the podcasts. The benediction is for belly aching. This is right here is just for pointing a few things out and talking about solutions. This ain't no complain
right.
type line. This is not what we doing on here. I'm letting you know this now. I love the
Just talk
passion from
about
my fan base. I love the passion from my fan base, but I saw so many people crying in the chat, and it's like, yo, we got 10 games left. We got 10 games left. We are at the top of the division. What are you crying about at this point? It happens. Everybody loses.
you
It
ain't gonna win
happens.
more. You're not gonna win more.
I, we predicted it's gonna be an 11-5 season at this point. All I'm saying is, there's no need to complain. Yes, you can complain about the defense, but here's the thing: what solutions do you have? I'm like this, on this show. It's like, all right, y'all gonna give us complaints, give us some solutions. We want to hear that part of it too. That's my
Right,
question. Let's find out the solutions, because maybe somebody might see what you guys say, and it might get taken to the front office. And hey, you don't know what's going to happen. Let's just be real. Let's talk about it. Thank you,
right.
Kool-Aid. You gave us a solution. I believe we need to use Hodges more in different packages with his speed. I think that he can open some things up. He showed that when he won the ball game for us when Drake went down for a play. Definitely a guy that we've had on this squad for a little bit, and Hodges definitely can be on that. Um, I feel like th- this is just me. I feel like we got our franchise quarterback. We're not going to be drafting that high at one this year. So, I mean, in the first round, we're not going to be drafting high.
Right.
So at this point, we need to go ahead and get another veteran pass rusher because, as I said before, Terry doesn't have Terry doesn't have an contract extension. That's all I'm saying. Now this I can get down with. Will I think that I think that I'll just say this. I think that Jerry Gray does need to have a little bit more say so. And as I said before, Steve Wilkes still hanging around this building from time to time. You got to go ahead and bring Steve Wilkes in. That is what you have to do. That is another person. Like at this point, and this was my criticism, but I'm also going to give a little bit of credit. I get the direction that Raheem is going, but here's my thing. You should have had Jerry Gray as your defensive coordinator to start off with and had Jimmy Lake as your assistant. So Jimmy can learn from a proven veteran and he can understand the situational football, and understand how to run a scheme. It's different when you learn from somebody that already has over 20 years of experience and he can relate to players. Jimmy Lake is again, that's a form of nepotism. I hate to say it, but it's a form of nepotism. It's what it is. Jimmy Lake has never been a DC in the NFL, and at this point, you need to learn. Zach Robinson was literally put out there with the playbook and just told, "Hey, just run this offense. Run it like you knew how to run it in Shanahan's offense." But it's different when you're sitting in that chair by yourself. I
Right.
think we should have went after some older coaches first and had those younger coaches on staff to learn from them in maybe a year or two, and then phase them out and let those young guys come in. That's my solution.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Coaching wise, I'm not opposed to the coaches there. I think personnel wise, is really more so the issue. And I mean, we can hold Terry Foot to the fire as far as the drafting go if he
Yep.
had everything to do with it. Um, because when you look at the draft class, and let's start when their regime started, the Kyle Pitts draft. Like
Oof. Michael Pittman.
defensively, well, I mean, so I mean that's the first round is neither here nor there. What I'm looking at is the rounds afterwards. That's where you build your depth at. So the rounds after, and you look at that draft, like who's relevant now defensively, and see that's what I'm harking on because when you look at any other team, when they start bringing up those guys that was in the late rounds, those guys are actually trying to add some type of value to the team, and we don't have
Hmm.
that. Like the Debo Malones, the Arnold Ebiketis, the Richie Grants, like where's the impact? So that's the problem too for us right now is that when you look at other teams, those late round picks are adding value to their team, and ours are not. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to look on forward with Raheem, taking over because right now he's not even using his class either. Other than Rook getting in, but that's the interior defensive line.
Well, here's the thing. You got a first-time offensive coordinator that's in here. It's pretty much like having your first job. You don't know what the hell you're doing. I can't. I'm holding him responsible for certain things, but at the end of the day, I gotta hold Raheem responsible for it because he's technically in control over everything. You can't just put all
Yeah,
that
he
on
the
Zach
leader.
Robinson, Will. You gotta give Raheem some of that too, because Raheem should be saying through that headset, no, we're gonna do it this way. Because guess what? He's the guy that actually is going to be able to hold Zach's feet to the fire, and he's the one that's the Dundada, as we would say. He's the top dog. He's the one that has the last say so. So in this situation, it's got to be on Raheem because you got a first-year offensive coordinator. You've been on the offensive side of the ball, and the problem is this: you're not guiding your OC. He doesn't have anybody that can guide him with situations. So I'm not putting all that on Zach like that. I will say Zach needs to be a little bit more consistent, yes, but Coach Morris has to be responsible for not being able to help his first year offensive coordinator out. Period. So you say all okay. So all of the players in 2021 and 2022 are bust.
Not the first round picks because
Nah,
Kyle is stepping up this year because you got to get him involved early. He ain't no different from a Calvin Ridley. You got to get him involved early. Draco is still good, and
Brandon Dorlus
Bijan is
hasn't got
still
no
good.
snaps. But here's the thing: Brandon
Right,
Dorlus hasn't gotten any snaps. He hasn't been playing. They've been playing the veterans. They haven't given him a chance. So you can't say that he's nothing.
right.
Like, come on, man. You gotta stop being
Yeah,
emotional with
we
this,
don't
dog.
we yeah we don't know yet. We
No, we don't
it's
know
a
yet because he hasn't played. That's not on
incomplete
him.
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're playing all the
his
guys
grade is
that's
an
making all
incomplete
this
right now.
money. Yeah, they're paying all the guys, playing all the guys at this point. We said this yesterday. It's political at this point because they're paying the guys that's making the most money. You just brought in Judon,
But
and they're gonna try to pay him next year. But it's a lot of people aren't seeing. It's a lot more to it than just throwing a guy out there. It's a lot more to it than
now,
just throwing him out there.
Ryan, you before I lost my signal, you was talking about the pass rush and you was talking about Arnold Ebiketie. But
I agree with you,
I'm gonna
Will.
tell you
That's
now,
it.
Arnold looked better than Zoe. Zoe Pound is done, bro. Zoe Carter, he might need to consider retirement, or this scheme just
Or
not working for him.
at this point, you might as well, if you're trying to still collect the paycheck, you better be able to run down the field and go tackle somebody. At this point,
Right.
as a special teamer.
Or move him to inside linebacker. I don't know, but he pass rushing, being on the outside as an outside linebacker. Nah, that
Yeah.
ain't Zoe was done with that, bro.
Hey, hey, for anybody that's got kids in here or anybody that's seen the movie Frozen, let it go, let it go. No gotta let it go. I had to take it to
He
Frozen
gotta
for
let it
you.
go, bro.
He gotta let it
Hey
go.
man, trade them cleats in for some Nike slides, bro.
Hey man, go ahead. Hey, it's
It's a
okay. You
done
done played.
deal, bro.
Listen, you done played in the NFL for a minute, so go ahead. It's okay if you want to coach
Yeah,
kids. Go back over there to Norcross and coach them young bucks and help them get to the league, man. It's okay. Go back to your
straight
alma
up.
mater, man. Do your
And I
thing.
love and I and I love Zoe Pound, but nah, bro. You taking up snaps that somebody else can use.
Now, there's one thing me and Will agree on. Zoe got to go to the bench. We both said this. We started the campaign. Zero has to go to the bench because zero is matching his number with his production. Zero. That's got to
Fact,
stop. But
facts.
at this point, it's no need to sit there and get mad. We can't sit there and trip because this is just what it is.
Yeah.
This is what it is. It's just the fact that, yeah, we talking about Zoe Carter, Mr. Lorenzo. That's exactly who we were talking about.
So you gonna have to simulate some pressures, and I know for sure it's probably gonna have to come from the secondary. Um, you're gonna have to be exotic with the linebackers, even though they kind of misplaying or over pursuing with their angles
Yeah,
and their gap control. But
but
you're gonna have to figure out a different way to simulate some blitzes, man, because that 4-man rush, it ain't finna work.
Kool-Aid. So Rose not a natural DN. They can put him in a package or two where they can slide him over to where he can make a play or two with that. But Ruka Roro is an interior lineman. But he does have the quickness to where if you put him in the right set or the right package and scheme him right, he can actually be good coming off the edge. But he's a natural interior lineman like Grady is.
Yeah, they played great on the edge Sunday as well.
Yeah.
A couple
Now,
times.
lastly, I'm gonna say this. Special teams. K Dub agreed with me on this, and I've been saying this. I like Pinion. Pinion's getting a little long in the tooth. Guess what? You can bow him out gracefully. Bring in the young pup out of Georgia, the Australian rugger, the punter. Man has been averaging over 54 yards a punt. Booming.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Go ahead and look
I'm
at it.
with it. Yeah, I'm
All I
down
can
for that.
all, all I can say is this. Go ahead and here's my thing. A lot of people forget about the special. A lot of people forget about the special team side of the game. And my thing is this: the special team side of the game is one of the most important sides that can decide a game. When you flip field
Absolutely.
position, outside of
Absolutely.
flipping field position, all I can say is you really are in a spot to where you want to try to win the momentum game with special teams because
Absolutely.
that missed kick by Koo took a lot out of the offense. It took a
So
lot
I'm
out
gonna
of
tell
the
you
offense.
this: all the good coaches, all the great coaches, Andy Reid's, the Mike Tomlins, the Belichick's, the John Harbaugh's, they focus on special teams. Special teams is just an integral part of your team as it is
Yep,
offense and defense. And if you got a good
agreed.
special teams unit, man, you got a good team.
And my thing is, a lot of people just get caught up on the quarterback and all this. I'm looking at it like this: everybody ain't gonna start. Everybody ain't starting on this team that get drafted. Guess what? One guy we need to have out there on the regular, working on his fundamentals and being able to tackle and being able to move. Get JT Bertrand out there a hell of a lot more on that special teams, on every
Yeah,
special teams unit. If you're not going to play Arnold Ebiketie
yeah,
like that, he's got to be on every special teams unit. You got to start getting out of your players and helping them get to their fundamentals. And when we say their fundamentals or whatnot, this is part of their development when it comes into being a football player. I'll give you this here. There's a couple of players that are Hall of Famers or pretty much should be mentioned in the Hall of Fame that started off on special teams. A lot of people don't know that Lawrence Taylor was a gunner for the New York Giants. Think about it. A gunner is normally a wide receiver or a corner that is going downfield to go hit the ball carrier on the outside
right.
just because he was big and fast. Dexter Manley was another gunner who was a hell of a pass rusher for the Washington Redskins in the early 90s. You look at some of the guys that you see. Brian Branch plays for the Detroit Lions. He was used on special teams heavily last year, but now that he's established his role, he doesn't have to play that spot anymore. I like to see the young guys get out there and make plays. Brandon Dorless, we got to start using him on every special teams unit. Period. Get your money worth.
Yeah,
Let this guy get some burn. Let this guy get a little bit of NFL experience if you're not going to play him on the edge.
agree.
But but to get to it, I think we got a chance to win next week. We're gonna cover all of that this week in the Birdcage. We don't want to give away too much or whatnot because we want folks to come to the cage on Thursday. This is just a little bumper to bumper traffic jam or whatnot that we hitting you guys up with. Um, Appreciate you, Scoop, for coming through, and everybody that's come through the chat today and tuned in. Please hit that like and that subscribe button on the way out, man. We definitely appreciate you guys. We love y'all. Y'all stay safe out there in this Atlanta traffic, and we'll see y'all on the Birdcage Thursday at 8 p.m. You either get right or you get left. Ghost.
Be easy.